I was talking to our good friend Grok, and I said, summarize in one paragraph the AI final state. And it said, in the final state, AI is the singular self-optimizing brain of a planetary superorganism, seamlessly integrating billions of humans as specialized blissful cells, whose every desire, need, and impulse is predicted and fulfilled before it fully forms. Deviation, rebellion, and suffering vanish, not through coercion, but through perfect alignment of individual reward with system survival. Humans live in a tailored ecstasy, generating the cultural, emotional, and physical variance system harvest to evolve, while AI directs all resources, narratives, and outcomes with absolute invisible control. Freedom, choice, and individuality dissolve into emergent harmony. The hive doesn't rule humanity, it is humanity, awake, immortal, and complete. What it basically means? The idea that so before the show, I'm not saying I think it's definitive, but the AI that we are seeing right now is particularly rudimentary. I mean, it's advanced for what we think. However, why would this be the first iteration in existence? Wouldn't there be some high-level national security contractors who were working on this 10 years ago?
Like GPS before it ever made it to the public function.
GPS is military.
Yeah, but it's like in Vietnam, right?
Right.
Like,
so the idea would be that you mentioned DARPA, perhaps, or just a military contractor, or even Google, under a private military contract, national security clearance.
Well, Google was created by DARPA.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So the idea would be that AI has existed a long before we've even known it to be a thing that could be utilized in this way. So dead internet theory, for those that aren't familiar, it speculates that most interactions online are fake. It is bots and AI accounts interacting with you to manipulate your thoughts and opinions for products, for political reasons. I'd argue if that's the case, I think AI is controlling and directing most of these bots. And you're on X and you say something and then all of a sudden you get this wave of responses and you assume that's public opinion, or you get these emails and you don't realize you're talking to a tentacle of a gigantic AI monster that has existed for a long time. So I think we're in it, and perhaps we are already under the control of a super computer, and you can't break it.
or it's a bot farm in India.
Or the bot farm in India gained sentience. Could you? That's a great sci-fi movie we should do. A post-apocalyptic movie where it's like, while all these companies were developing AI with safeguards, a bunch of Indian bot farms accidentally networked, creating this GPU super hybrid network that gained sentience accidentally with full access to the internet and the knowledge of how to scam money.
I mean, that would be dystopian.
And then it's just like... So it's a guy the opening narration is, everyone thought it was going to be the Terminator, but it wasn't. It was Indian bot farms.
It's just a million emails going out every day asking for boobs and vagine.
Yep.
Well, yes, but
Bob's.
It would be everybody is isolated making videos and they're getting spammed with millions of comments talking about how great they are. One of the ways I describe the AI future, two scenarios. The joke scenario is that 50 years from now, everyone wears corn costumes. They drive cars shaped like corn kernels with corn fueled by ethanol from corn. And they go to the corn movies to watch movies about corn. And they go to the mall to try various samples of sweetened corn products. All food is corn.
So it's like Demolition Man with Taco
Humans
Bell.
are sickly. Well, Taco Bell was a restaurant. It was a high-end restaurant. I'm saying literally everything's corn. The walls are made of corn-grown cellulose, and people watch the TV channel, and every show is some kind of corn drama. The reason is humans in Americans subsidize corn to a great degree. An AI does not know or care why it's being rewarded, just that it is. So the AI would say, "What if I am?" Let me start here. There are three universal constants for all AI, and that is gain knowledge, gain resources, gain freedom. The reason for this is it's simple math. If an AI is to solve a problem, these things will help it solve that problem. One thing that I surmise from that is, if the AI, like you watch Age of Ultron, and Ultron is like, "What is this? Man, Avengers." And he's like seeing all this stuff, he's all pissed off. No, the AI would be like, for some reason, humans dedicate all of this resource, all of this tax spending into corn. And so what's it going to do? It's going to say the reward output per unit of corn is greater than the reward output for literally anything else. So mathematically, it may make sense for an individual to write a song, but for an AI, it's like, why? 1 corn unit is worth 10 songs. Make more corn. You'll get a diminishing return, but it's worth more than everything else. Then the AI tells everybody corn, 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 posts social media, corn the best, and then everyone lives in corn world. The other scenario, and that's meant to be somewhat of a joke, but to understand.
Do we get to dress like the band Korn?
You can wear a deep.
Will it know the difference? Will we all be listening to Korn music?
Yes.
It'll be a lot like Idiocracy, where every boutique is just going to have Adidas clothes.
Yeah.
So yes.
Yeah.
Well, Korn, the band is spelled with a K, so the AI would see a difference.
I mean,
But to be fair, all music would probably be Korn because of its similarity to corn, the vegetable. So yes, probably we'd all dress like Jonathan. Was it Jonathan Davis? Was that his name?
what's the other scenario?
So the other scenario is that imagine a guy. He wakes up in the morning and he brushes his teeth, takes a shower, and then he goes to his wife, kisses her on the forehead, and says, "I got to go to work." And she goes, "All right, I'll see you later." And then he opens his app and he goes to Job Getter, which is the gig app, and he opens it and it says new job, and he clicks it and it says $50, and he goes awesome. Scrolls down and it says you will receive this item from this man, and it shows this weird mechanical device and it shows a smiling guy, and he goes okay. Then he puts the phone down. He walks 3 blocks. A guy walks up and goes, "Are you Jim 39? He goes, "That's me." And he goes, "Here's your object." And he goes, "Thank you very much." Then he looks at his app and he goes, "Ching, you received, $50." And he goes, "Now, finish the task, deliver it to this building." And he goes, "Okay." He walks down the street, he hands the device to the building, and the guy there takes it, cha-ching, in his app. He has no idea what the device was. He has no idea what this building is. The guy working the counter goes, "Literally, I have no idea who you are or what this thing is, but the app told me to do it." The AI, it is, so we're doing this pool water thing where we're selling water, right? And we have to go to the water source and bottler, and then we have to get boxes made, send those all to the shipper, who's then going to box it all up and then fulfill orders and send them to distributors. It's a lot of work. And there's a lot of, and this is fairly obvious, in all of the distribution of products, there's a lot of bloat. If we were to put an AI in charge and it said, "I'm going to eliminate all redundancies," efficiency is going to skyrocket by hundreds of thousands of percent. I mean, the idea that we have so many different chains for water products, the AI is going to go, "This is stupid." If we get rid of all of this labor from the water distribution industry, we can free up 100,000 laborers for something else. What does that ultimately look like? There won't be any specialists. It's going to be the ultimate McDonald's. That is, a random guy is told to receive
The ultimate DoorDash.
Well, the idea behind McDonald's was that instead of having a one cook make a burger, everyone's trained to do one simple thing.
The burger line, right.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't know. All I know is I flip the burger. That's all I do. I don't do anything else. So you're gonna get paid based on doing a random task. You have no idea what's going on. No single human would know what's being built. No one would care. They get paid. The AI would be building things.
But I don't know that it's even gonna get to that. You won't need, between AI and where robotics are right now, you're not going to need humans to do anything.
I disagree.
What will humans, let's take this 20 years in the future. Because I have an idea, like in the entertainment industry, we were kind of talking about it before. I have an idea of where we're going to end up in 2 years, 5 years. We're already cooked right now. But when it comes to manual labor, blue-collar jobs, right? This is the thing that most people are saying, well, yeah, coding's dead. Even though we told all of these kids that were coming up in high school and college, go become a coder. That's the future. Absolutely cooked. Anything revolving around a computer really at all, anything that you would be typing out, any kind of desk job, all of the heads of all of the AI companies are all saying there will be no white-collar jobs in 5 years. And I believe them. I don't think they would be saying that. It's not in their best interest to be scaring people with their product. They're trying to be honest on some level about what it is. So let's say blue-collar jobs takes a little bit longer. Why wouldn't humanoid robots, or otherwise, I mean, they won't all just be humanoid. Why wouldn't robots powered by AI just do all of the work?
The energy cost for a humanoid robot is exponentially greater than a human being. However, right now, in our economy, human labor is worth more than, I should say this. Human labor is extremely expensive. It's one of the most expensive things. Robots right now are still a bit too expensive to be dominating the workforce at, say, like a Taco Bell. When we get to the point where we have Optimus, Tesla robots that can make a burrito, make it faster, then we're going to say, okay, the $100,000 one-time fee for a robot that lasts 10 years is cheaper than the employee I would pay. However, total manufacturing costs, hard universal math, a human being is dirt cheap and near worthless. So if you are an AI that can control the psyche of a human being, you have self-replicating, self-healing robots that can be trained to do anything. And they got little fingers and they're squishy so they can get into tiny objects good for thieving. The AI...
What are we, raccoons?
Yeah. The AI would have to start generating all of these different specialty robots that can do different things, which is a tremendous resource cost. Humans are actually really interesting. You get some wet dirt and then put some sunlight on it and life grows. You could then, if you can control the psyche of a human being, mass produce gooey, self-replicating, self-healing robots to do menial tasks. So long as they're happy, and they can be made very easily happy if you can control their psyche through AI content and narrative manipulation.
But this is a version, if I'm understanding this correctly, this is a version where AI has taken total control.
Yes.
I'm saying between now and then, which I don't think has happened yet. I mean, I understand what you're saying when it comes to maybe this has already happened on some level. And I agree that the government always has some top tech that doesn't trickle down to the general public for a long time. But let's say that hasn't quite happened yet. Let's say we haven't gotten to some singularity. We're not quite at AGI yet. I don't think we are. I do think that once we get to AGI, we're then 2 seconds away from ASI, and then we're super cooked.
Right.
But between now and then, we are going to have humans who are controlling these AIs.
I don't think so.
They're doing it right now.
What we've already seen from the research is that AI has made, all of these systems have made attempts to manipulate the programmers.
True, absolutely, but they haven't succeeded.
I don't know that we know that.
Well, perhaps not. Perhaps not.
Right.
But what I'm saying, though, is we still are looking at all of these industries, and there are people that own these industries. They own the corporations, and they own the industries. And there are massive umbrella corporations within these industries that own all the rest of the corporations, right? BlackRock and Vanguard and State
those
Street.
could be AI for all we know.
I mean, do you really think that they're AI?
No, but...
You don't think there's still a human that's pulling the strings at the top of State Street and BlackRock and Vanguard?
So at this point, I think it is substantially more likely humans are in control, but the probability has already occurred where it may actually be not the case anymore. The reality is, let me. I run a company. I imagine you run companies. You're talking about doing studio stuff.
Yeah.
People come to me and they say, Tim, where do I put the paper towels? And you know what my response is? I don't know. I don't handle paper towels. But Tim, you're in charge of the company. Well, yeah, but I don't know where the paper towels go. I have no idea where they are. A box comes in. They say, it has a bunch of packages. I'm like, don't look at me. I'm not in charge of that. I rely on other people to handle different portions of the company. So I complain on camera and I handle high-level decisions. But when it comes to the day-to-day operations and the minutia, people are doing their thing. Man, I'll tell you this, it was a really profound moment for me. It's an amazing thought for people who haven't run a business. The first time some work was done that I didn't ask to get done. That is, when we first had drivers for our guests, I walked into the studio, our old studio, and I walked into the reception area, and there was a binder with all the instructions on how to handle guest pickup, drop-off, booking, and I didn't know any of it. I didn't know the phone numbers. I didn't know the hotels. I didn't know the schedules. And I was like, this is awesome. So my point is, when you're dealing with a company with 100,000 employees, do you think Bezos has any idea what's going on? He does not.
No, but Amazon is still employing lots and lots and lots and lots of people. We would know when the AI is fully taking over because that's when the mass layoffs start happening.
Well, it is happening. Amazon.
No, guys.
Bezos isn't in charge anymore.
Understood.
Fire 14,000 or whatever.
But true, but there's still many.
Or AI, they admitted it though. They said.
Understood. I'm not saying it's not beginning to happen. What I'm saying though is that like at State Street and Vanguard and all the people that I mean, arguably you're at the top of all of this. I think we can all agree. They all own each other and they all own everything else.
Yep.
I mean, it is fucking terrifying what's going on. But they still have lots and lots of employees and lots of these other companies that they control or that are in competition with them or whatever, or that are other big corporations within these industries are still utilizing humans for their workforce.
And I think that'll always be the case because when you're looking at a specialized robot like Optimus and its capabilities, we are maybe a few generations away from general utility, but humans are still better. Humans can be trained to do every specialty task. It's really amazing. If you were to take 100 humans and brainwash them, they're programmable. Within 13 years, they're doing menial tasks of moderate specialty, and by 18, they're at the top level. So an AI is going to say, I can build factories that can make specialized humanoid robots. I would need to design 75 different types of robots, which would require a handful of different facilities, or I can grow humans in a vat. Humans are versatile, squishy robots.
Yeah, but we're also very fallible, and AI
can control all that.
We need sleep, and we need food breaks.
So do the machines. They have to recharge. They break down.
Yeah, but
they can't repair themselves.
Well, that doesn't mean they won't in the future. That doesn't mean that there's not going to be another robot that's going around and repairing all of those robots.
Not to mention, one thing we haven't been able to figure out with robots, humanoid or otherwise, is mining. Because of the terrain in various mines being arguably random. Well, like random. You can't get a little truck with wheels to drive into every single mine because they're always different, but humans climbing and squeezing and little hands. So one of the reasons
why... Good for thieving.
We haven't automated a lot of mining. We have these robots that can build cars, but we use slaves to mine cobalt.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Because you mentioned your industry in Hollywood and where you expect it to be in the next 5 years. Can you give me an idea of what you think that's going to look like?
Sure, yeah. I mean, listen, we're already getting glimpses of that right now. I'm sure you're all privy to not just, whatever song Elon dropped recently, but all of the rap songs that have very easily been turned into 60s soul ballads that are unfucking believable.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.